Today's episode is all about online payments. I've met with the incredible Dror Birzon, a payment expert from BlueSnap, a leading online payment provider, and we've discussed the challenges and opportunities in the payment industry. Dror highlights the importance of converting users into buyers and the role of AI in payment workflows. Dror also emphasizes the need for localization in international expansion and the significance of alternative payment methods. He explores the growing trend of social commerce and the impact of shoppable videos. Additionally, we've discussed the integration of online and offline commerce and the future of e-commerce and payment methods. We've also addressed the issue of buy now, pay later, BNPL, fraud prevention with AI, and discussed some of the major trends in the online payment industry. Join us for an invaluable episode packed with valuable insights from Dror Birzon. Let's dive in. Welcome to the Ecom Pulse, your heartbeat to the world of e-commerce. I'm your host, Eitan Kotter. Join us as we meet with industry leaders, marketing experts, and the innovative minds behind the tech that is shaping the e-commerce future. So plug in, gear up, and get ready for a pulse-pounding journey into the heart of e-commerce. Oh, hi, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being with us here at the show. We have plenty of things to unpack today. So why don't we start with a quick introduction about yourself and about BlueSnap?
Absolutely. Yeah. So my name is Dror Birzon, and I've been doing payments for over 10 years now, working for BlueSnap, which is a global payments technology company that develops a payment orchestration platform that pretty much solves the biggest challenges e-commerce companies are facing online, which include, but not limited to, how to convert more users into buyers, which means those site visitors that come to your website. How do you actually convert them into an actual purchase? And I don't mean by only the user experience throughout the life cycle of the user on the website, but also on the back end throughout the processing as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one aspect. And the second aspect is, how do you not only convert more, but also how do you save on payments processing costs? As you know, when you sell globally, you pay increased fees in processing,
Sure.
which means you pay higher fees on cross-border fees. And therefore, the platform that BlueSnap have developed is targeting those main challenges.
Great. Although I know you are 10 years with BlueSnap. This is obviously, I like it a lot, but I guess it's very rare in these days. Why you are so passionate about the payment industry? What's interests you so going through this for so many years?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the main thing that keeps me in the industry is that I meet a lot of amazing entrepreneurs and I get exposed to a lot of different technologies, startups in the industry. So I think that keeps me on the edge to see what's next. And of course, part of my work, I meet a lot of interesting people, and I engage in a lot of meetups and conferences. So that keeps me definitely engaged in what's going on in the market, and that is something that I love to do. And that's what kept me alive in this, I'm going to say, challenging industry for so many years.
Yeah. Yes. So having this perspective of more than 10 years in the industry, what has changed mainly?
Wow. So many things have changed, but I think what have changed is the usage of various technologies in order to impact and improve the shopper experience. I think you already know that everybody's talking about AI, which is the biggest buzzword. It was crypto a few years ago. Now it's AI all over the place, and AI is being used all over the place around the shopper experience and on e-commerce websites all over the world, including AI technologies that do either product recommendations or personalizations and fraud prevention, and pretty much throughout the life cycle and of the shopper experience on the website.
Sure. I mean, there is no episode without AI, right? To the topic. I mean, and you've mentioned that right at the get-go. So let's try to understand specifically on BlueSnap and the payment workflows and the various use cases, how AI is is helping and what is really working these days.
Yeah, so I think there's several aspects that AI has been used very strongly recently and will continue to grow in that aspect. One of them is the aspect of personalization, which means how do you personalize the user experience to each one of your users differently.
Mm-hmm.
Each user has different searching criteria. Each user has a different purchasing pattern. So based on the history of the user, browsing history, purchasing history, you personalize the content in order to convert more of those users into actual buyers. So you personalize the recommendations to recommend relevant products to specific users. In addition to that, throughout the process of the user making searches on your website, you can make recommendations, right? As the user is actually making searches on the website, you recommend the relevant products that can help convert them into actual buying and not only searching. So personalization is one aspect. Chatbots is also an interesting one. Chatbots, those are the ones that actually replacing human intervention.
Mm-hmm.
No need for anyone to call your support team. No need to keep anyone awake during the night. You have a chatbot that sits on your website and assist the user throughout the purchasing process, answering questions, recommending different products that might be relevant for them. If you want more, I have more, but it depends on you.
Let's continue.
So other means of usage of AI is around fraud prevention.
Okay.
Fraud prevention is a major pain for online e-commerce stores. So let's take a scenario where someone makes a purchase, you ship the goods, and then you get hit with a chargeback. So just to make sure we all align what a chargeback means in a case where the cardholder, for whatever reason, he didn't like the product, he didn't get the product, he doesn't recognize the transaction, he didn't do the transaction, for whatever reason whatsoever, the cardholder engaged his credit card company and pretty much asked for his money back. All right, so he saw a charge for $100, he asked for the $100 back, and the credit card company have returned the money back to the shopper. Okay, so that's why fraud is a very big pain, especially in e-commerce where there are actual physical goods being sent and delivered.
Sure.
And using technologies that help you prevent fraud is actually one of the biggest, I'm going to say challenges, but there are various technologies out there that help e-commerce stores fight chargebacks and fight fraud by analyzing the user behavior on the website. They do device fingerprinting. They pretty much record any aspect of your, I'm going to say, your experience or your behavior on the website.
Yes.
And based on different parameters, they actually can prevent fraud, decline the transaction before it's even sent to the bank to be approved.
Yeah, like you mentioned, behavior analysis, like history matching, like creating various, data points that actually. So what's the idea? The idea is to prevent this transaction from the get-go, like identify the user and what is the experience that those users will have.
Exactly. So you can imagine that user is now trying to make a purchase. He's entering his credit card details, but the transaction based on the, I'm going to say, internal scoring or whatever AI logic that was built, the transaction will be declined before it was even sent to the bank to get approved.
Yes. Any indication what are the percentage rates for this type of transaction?
Well, again, it really varies and depends on the industry. So that's why I prefer not to touch it. But again, it really depends on the type of product, the average ticket value, regions, different aspects impact.
Clear. So we mentioned fraud prevention. What are the challenges that you see are mainly really relevant for brands these days in terms of their payment structure or the overall challenges that you hear that our BlueSnap is engaged with?
Yeah, so other than the ones that I mentioned, fraud prevention, I want to focus more maybe on how do you convert those users into an actual sale, right?
Yeah.
Because I see a lot of brands are investing a lot of money and effort in marketing aspects to bring those users into your website. Acquisition, exactly. But when they land on the website, the user experience is not optimized. Therefore, you lose a lot of those users and they do not convert.
Okay.
And if you look at industry statistics, an average of around 2% of website visitors will convert into an actual purchase.
Yeah.
So that's only 2% of those visitors. So you better invest heavily in optimizing your total shopper experience in order to convert them into an actual purchase.
Yeah.
In order to do that, we can look at the main aspects that you can do as a website owner, as an e-commerce website owner, in order to increase those conversions and convert them into an actual sale. And it all starts from the moment the user lands on your website.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you got to stop doing those pop-ups, register to a newsletter or sign up here for an account or whatever unnecessary step. Do not do it. No need for any extra steps. Do whatever, or less is more in our domain. Less steps means more conversions because users lose their patience. Your goal is to convert them, not to have them register. Your goal is to convert them and have them complete the checkout process successfully. So you can offer guest checkouts. You can use autofill forms in order to save the user time when he's actually filling the forms with his address, shipping address, etc., credit card information. The more time-saving aspects and tools that you can use, this is what you need to do. Don't ask for any extra information whatsoever. So less is more. Mobile friendly. I think if I was looking at the statistics recently, over 60% of sales are done via mobile. Okay, so mobile is here to stay, and you better, if you have an e-commerce website, you gotta make sure your website is optimized for a mobile experience. What does it mean? It means for example, that you need to enable payment methods that are mobile or mobile wallets, for example, Apple Pay, Google Pay, which enable the user to do a faster checkout within a click.
Yeah.
Okay, so mobile experience is very important if you don't want to lose users. And I see a lot of companies that actually don't focus on that. And when I go via mobile phone or a tablet to the website, I still need to do additional scrolling. They don't have the relevant payment methods. And all of that hurt the user experience, which will result in additional or increase in abandonment rates.
Yeah.
What more? Multiple payment methods. Okay, so I think we all know that credit cards is the main payment method that being used online. I think it's over 50% will prefer to use credit cards. But what about, I'm going to say the other 40% or more? This is why when you build your e-commerce website, make sure to utilize alternative methods as well. Alternative methods can include, of course, mobile wallets, right? Google Pay, Apple Pay, PayPal. What about buy now, pay later solutions, right? Which get a lot of traction recently, especially if you sell high ticket value goods, right? $100, thousands of bucks. If you give them a BNPL option, that will help you convert more because people feel more secure and feel more confident to use a BNPL, for example, when the ticket value is very high.
Yeah.
Alternative methods is also crucial when you are selling globally. Why? Because in different regions around the globe, different payment methods are relevant, right? Ideally in Netherlands, Boleto in Brazil. So when you sell globally, you need to think locally, right? You need to make sure you enable local payment methods in the different regions that you target. Otherwise, again, you'll be losing many clients. Credit cards, again, is the main one, but it should not replace enabling additional payment methods. Let the user pick the payment methods that he feels more confident in using during the payment process, during the checkout process. Without that, you'll be losing
Yes.
Many users.
So what you're saying, brands should make all these options available on their platforms, right? I mean,
absolutely,
and have all these options available for shoppers to check out in their own, the way you would like to do that. Obviously, not just credit cards, but you mentioned also, digital wallets, which is big. Like in the US, we know that almost half of the consumers have made a purchase through digital wallets, and it's probably one of the biggest differentiators. I mean, credit card is not enough, right? Obviously, in other parts of the world, debit cards also, and some localization of payments, of course, is very, very
absolutely. Direct debit, bank transfers.
Yes.
I mean, when you choose, I'm going to say, a global payment provider, he should be the one also helping you in that strategy, because what I see is there's a lot of e-com entrepreneurs out there which know very good their business, but they don't know e-com, they don't know payments. When you pick, like everything in life, when you pick a partner, make sure he completes you with the knowledge that you don't have. So when you pick a global payment provider, make sure that he also be the one that helps you strategize what payment methods to use, how to convert from which technologies to implement during the checkout process. This is a very important aspect of selecting the right payment partner.
Of course,
as part of your growth.
In terms of international expansion for entrepreneurs and for brands, and the localization of the payment factors, I mean, you've mentioned some of those, but if we want to just zoom in on that specific topic, what localization really means, for a complete solution.
Yeah, so localization has different aspects. It's not only using and utilizing local payment methods, but also local language. Okay, I know people by default will do English and sell globally, but clearly when you sell to Latin America or Asia, for example, some people know English, but clearly they will prefer naturally to buy in their own language.
Their own language,
So that's one aspect. And two, which is I think it's more important, is selling in the local currency as well. Okay, why? Because naturally, when you go and you sell into the different regions, and I see a lot of e-com companies or e-com entrepreneurs sell in USD because it's, that's the default USD for all. But bottom line is, when you sell globally, people want to buy in their own currency. Why? Because they may be hit with the currency conversion, right? Because if my card is, for example, was issued in EU, and the default currency is euro, and now I'm buying in USD, I will get hit by currency conversion by my credit card company. Bad experience. And two, what we see as well is when you sell globally in USD, for example, if someone from EU comes to your website and see that price, what he will do, he wants to see what currency conversion is getting hit with, right?
Okay.
What's the cost? What he will do, he will actually leave your website, go to like Google currency conversion, and you probably lost them on the way because you just did another extra step.
Interesting.
That's why it's very critical to sell in the local currency. This way you know how much you're going to be charging, how much you'll be charging your user. Okay, so we got local currencies, we got local payment methods, local language. All of that means, in general, localize the experience based on your user's geographic location.
And for a company like BlueSnap, obviously you are providing all these localization services, and you're actively working and integrating more and more local payment providers and resources always.
Exactly. Yeah. The more we grow into different aspects in different regions, the local markets pretty much require you to utilize local payment methods for enhanced conversions. Definitely.
One of the greatest terms is BNPL. I think it's worth spending some more time on BNPL. Just latest statistics. I mean, 2022, 360 million people worldwide using BNPL, and this is going to go up to 900 million BNPL users by 2027. Right, and you've mentioned that BNPL is very, very relevant for high ticket orders, right? But why do you think this is really such a major opportunity for brands?
Yeah, I think it's a major opportunity because, again, if you're looking at the trends, you can see major growth. More and more users are, I'm going to say, adopting those type of methods.
Yes.
And if you look at statistics on e-commerce websites, you can see that those alternative methods actually help you convert more users into buyers. Why? Because if a user comes to a website and he buys, let's say, multiple products, and the total amount reaches, a few $100 usually, or a few thousands of dollars, naturally or psychologically, it's going to be simple for him to split the amount into several payments rather than do a one charge on his credit card.
Yeah.
Right. Some credit cards might have a limitation, so all of that aspects are being solved when you're utilizing a BNPL type of solution.
Yes.
Everybody knows Klarna, and Split It, which is an Israeli-based company that pretty much took the installment aspect as well globally. So again, especially for high ticket priced e-com websites, BNPL is definitely another payment method that you should utilize as part of your strategy.
Sure. Another important trend that is probably started in China or the Asia and now very strong also in the US is social commerce, right? Nearly half of 47% of US consumers already made a purchase through social media checkouts. And now with the explosive hype and growth of TikTok Shop, right, in the US and the UK and rolling out in more and more countries, I mean, how do you see this evolving, and why do you think people are happy? Or because initially they were kind of reluctant to check out on social, but now things have changed, I guess.
Yeah, today all those platforms that you mentioned, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Pinterest, all of those platforms have an integrated or a seamless type of checkout experience for their users. And pretty much e-commerce companies and e-commerce brands are using those platforms as an additional storefront, right? So you can imagine that you have an e-commerce brand that you have your own domain. And now by utilizing those social platforms, that gives you additional storefronts that can expose you to additional users. Today, where most people are, I'm going to say, spending a lot of time on social media platform, this is where your users are mostly coming from. This is where all the engagement is happening. This is where people are recommending products, discussing with others about different products.
Yes.
So definitely, while having your own website and your own domain is important, but do not leave the aspect of social commerce as well, which is very crucial and shows a continuous growth, which can encourage more and more people to buy from your brand as well.
Yes, I mean, the market is getting more and more competitive, and brands are looking for more channels, right, to sell. I mean, sell where their potential shoppers are spending time on, right? And we know how much social time we are spending every day. So some of these platforms are more for entertainment, some of these platforms are more for social, but definitely commerce within social is increasing substantially, and also within marketplaces, like more marketplaces or like the retail media opportunity. A lot of brands are going beyond their traditional storefront and trying to generate business from outside of their storefront, right?
Absolutely. And just want to add, in addition to social commerce, I feel that social proofing is also a critical path.
Okay.
To converting more users into buyers. Social proof, let's just talk about it and see what it means. Social proof means when someone makes a purchase on a website, you need to find a way to encourage that user to share about his experience, about his positive experience. So it could be in the form of a testimonial, right? They actually write a few sentences about his good experience on your website.
Okay.
But also encourage him to give a review. Why? Because we can see that most people, before they're actually making a purchase, actually, if I saw online, I think it was over 90% of users will read an online review before actually going and making a purchase.
90%.
So, it's people today where the information and data is all around you, it's very simple to see, hey, I'm going to this website, what other people are the users like me experience there.
Yeah.
So that's why brands are investing and will continue to invest in social proof. As I mentioned, it could be testimonials, could be reviews, which are made visible online and on your website. So when someone comes to your website, it gives him that sense of confidence that his experience will be good as well as the same as other users as well. Head on your website.
Yes, clear. Another interesting opportunity is like merging of online and offline, right? Like buy now, and then probably pay in the store. How do you see integrations of, point of sales or overall, shoppers, type of purchasing method that is evolving offline and online?
So I think the trend that I see around that is, as you mentioned, e-commerce stores are pushing more maybe that you will buy online for the simplicity of the checkout process, but then you can actually pick up the goods in an actual physical store. So you go with that receipt that you got, and then you go to the physical store to pick it up. In some cases, again, the deliveries, of course, but in some cases, some users will prefer to actually go to the physical store and pick it up from the storage.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and then this is like buy now, pick up later, right?
But buy now,
that's
the BNPL. That's another BNPL.
That's another BNPL, the version 2 BNPL. Yes, that's another thing that I think is very interesting for a lot of shoppers. And we mentioned like social commerce before. I think the main drivers, obviously, for social commerce is video, right? So definitely a major trend, which is obviously what Vim is all about. I mean, we are in the video commerce and a shoppable video type of experience. So we see now technologies that are, enable you to check out from within the video experience, right? What do you see is happening on this specific trend right now?
Yeah, so video, let's say, in simple words, video converts more than images, right? Because statistics show very clear that when someone sees a video, it will highly or mostly have higher probability of converting into actually buying that product versus a person who just saw an image of the product.
Yeah.
Right? Because the videos are more engaging. You got the sound effects, you got the motion, all of that. I'm going to say all of those effects help to convert more users into an actual buyer.
And definitely, video is also like you have live shopping events. That is, the US is trying to catch up, or the Western world trying to catch up with China. And obviously, you have like the shoppable, probably the vertical videos that are going to social media mainly and trying to convert. So I think it's very important to distinct, between those two opportunities. You mentioned also product reviews. So we see trend also of video reviews, right? Things that you can, implement in the product page or even in the checkout page, just, encouraging shoppers to convert and reduce shop abandonment. I mean, if someone is, if he's already 10 seconds, not clicking the checkout or the buy now button, you can pop up a video review, some product review to help him, to help him convert. That's very, very important. So what do you see is still, evolving in the market? How do you see the next following years evolve around payment methods, e-commerce in general?
Yeah, so I think if we're talking about e-com growth factors, we can see more and more digital adoptions, right? So people feel more secure about the technologies that they see in front of them, the mobile device, desktop, laptop, tablet, whatever. They feel more secure to buy using those methods. In addition to that, the more that we as e-commerce sellers make the experience simpler, faster, painless, those are the growth factors that will encourage more and more people to utilize those technologies and buy online.
Yes. So a lot of options on the checkout, making sure all the options are available on the website. But in addition to very simple, as you said, less is more, right? In terms of the journey for checkout, and this is something that probably is as important as spending time on marketing and acquiring new customers that brand needs to be aware of. Dror, great. Anything else you want to add?
I think something that we did not discuss, and it's related more to, I'm going to say, the payment optimization, which I see a lot of companies made a lot of mistakes in that aspect, is how to utilize local acquiring when you sell globally. So I'll give you an example. I see a lot of e-com Israeli entrepreneurs that are selling globally. So they work a lot on the user experience, as I mentioned. They utilize all those tools, but but what is lacking is the fact that they do not utilize local acquiring in different regions that they are targeting. So, for example, an Israeli seller is targeting the US market.
Yeah.
So what happens today is that they utilize the local Israeli acquirer for the transaction. And as a result, one, they get hit with cross-border fees because the transaction is international, right?
International.
The card was issued in the US, but the acquirer, the bank that is processing the transaction, is in Israel. So that's like an international transaction. Which one gets hit with higher fees? And two, statistically, the success rate or authorization rates will be lower. Why? Because of fraud and whatever automatic rules that cause the transaction to be declined. So in order to solve that aspect and improve on that aspect, e-commerce entrepreneurs or e-commerce store owners should look into utilizing local acquiring in the regions that they are targeting. So if you're targeting the US market, you should be utilizing a PSP or a payment service provider or a payments partner that can enable for you a local acquirer in the US, same in the US, same in any other region.
Okay.
And by doing that, you will save on processing costs because all your transactions will now become a local transaction, right? Because it's a US bank processing a US card, EU bank processing processed by EU bank.
Yes.
So you're not only saving on the cost, but you will also ensure your success rates are being optimized, and these success rates could reach or increase by 5, 10, 15%, depending on the market that you actually target. So this is a big impact that should be utilized. It should be also very simple to utilize when you select the right partner, and the more companies should definitely use that to their advantage.
Wow, very, very important topic, because obviously, again, from the Israeli perspective, most of the e-commerce partners are obviously selling abroad, and it's very important, the localization, again, from the PSP provider, as you said, saving cost and being aware that there is a solution that they can implement, to provide these and reduce also probability for faulty transactions and all. Great. So, Dror, how people can find you at BlueSnap?
Well, I'm pretty much available on every social media possible. On LinkedIn, BlueSnap is an American company, and we have offices here in Herzliya. So definitely feel free to reach out.
Great. So, Dror, thank you so much. Very, very interesting topic. A lot of exciting opportunities as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Okay. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us on this episode. Your support means the world to us. If today's episode has been insightful for you, consider sharing it with someone who would also benefit. Even one share can make a big difference. Looking to elevate your e-commerce game? Discover Vimy, a multi-channel e-commerce platform that will transform your business with the power of shoppable video. Visit us at vimy.net to learn more. It's Vimy, VIMMI.net. Thank you for being part of our journey. Stay tuned for more invaluable insights in our next episode.